money is kind of the greatest cause of anxiety amongst most adults. I think in America there was some research which showed that 37% of millennials have experienced like money anxiety on a level of PTSD. And so I think we need to like treat it as a real kind of, a real mental health trigger. And the irony that we might spend €6 on a green juice that we can't really afford, that then's going to cause us some kind of like money anxiety, I don't think that like should be lost on anyone. And a bit kind of, like starting a healthy eating plan or learning to run 5K can feel like it's a tiny bit of a slog, and sometimes you have to be the boring one and you have to think about what you're doing and you can't say yes to everything. But if you do that, like if you learn to run 5K, it feels great once you've done it. And I see like getting financially fit as like a little bit like that, if we think of it as getting well. And like, yes, it is a bit boring because we often look at kind of money and go, oh, it's just boring. I don't want to think about my budget. I don't want to think about what I can't buy. But if you think about it as like learning a yoga move, like, yeah, you can power through and you'll get there and it can feel brilliant. And the like stress and anxiety that it can lift is quite remarkable. I believe that if we all learn to talk about money, and I mean the money that we earn and we spend in our everyday lives, that one, we'd have better relationships. So I think if you can be honest with your friends and family and talk about the thing that's causing us the greatest stress, which is money, I think so much is left unsaid. We often feel like we have to deal with money and the troubles of money on our own. We're not taught about money at school, and then so like to just suddenly think, oh, I've just got to get through life and I never discuss it with anyone and I just have to know exactly what to do at any point. I think that's really misleading and really damaging. Brené Brown, who's like an amazing American shame researcher, she says that shame derives its power from being unspeakable. And I think lots of people, whether they earn lots of money or very little money, feel shame about money. I think that emotion is kind of attached to it, and I think that's because we don't share about it. And the other thing about talking about money is that you learn loads. Like if you go and talk to your friend and you say, what are you doing for your retirement? What are you doing for your pension? No one really wants to have that conversation, but if you have it with someone that you know and enjoy speaking to, then I just think you learn so much more than kind of having that conversation once in a bank at some point. Money affects everything, unfortunately. Like it affects where we sleep at night, it affects the friends we hang out with, it affects what work we do for, how we earn that money, and then how we spend our social time. So I think accepting that it affects all these different touch points, and then looking at how can it affect your life in the most healthiest possible way. And that's not always about having more money. The most stressed people I know are often the richest. But I think a financial advisor told me that the most financially healthy people are the people that are best able to connect the money they have with the things they really want. So I think feeling financially healthy is understanding how to make the money you have work best for you. So looking at your budget and a budget that works for you. I think feeling like a bit of conscious consuming and mindful spending. So only bringing into your life what you really love and want. And then looking at kind of the balance between earning and spending. Like, do you need to earn the amount that you earn? Maybe you could have some time off instead. I think when people think about the topic of money, like loads of people go, oh, I'm never going to read your book because I don't want to know any more about money. Like, money is not for me. And I think we often think about money as like taxes and the greater economy and budgets and pensions. And it's not. Money like bought me my coffee this morning. Money bought me this dress. Money means I'm in Lisbon. It's not to say that money is everything. It's not. I actually just think if we could talk about it and integrate it into conversation, it's a bit like we never talk about a woman's age. That's kind of a thing you're not meant to say, or someone's weight. And by saying you should never talk about them, I think you're saying they're shameful things, and they're not. It's a tool we use to do things. So money is joy. Like now, it used to be a stress for me, but now that I feel like I've got on top of it, I don't have any more of it. I just feel more in control of it. I allow it to bring joy into my life, and the things, I spend it on things that I really want. So my first piece of advice is look at your money. And I mean, so everyone should bank digitally. And I don't mean just online, I mean use a digital first bank. So a bank that allows you to categorise all your spending, so you can see exactly what you spent today, exactly what you spend at kind of the supermarket each week, so like by places. So the first thing is look at your bank account, and if you don't want to look at it, then it's even more than, if it causes you anxiety, you should be the person that's looking at it. So every single day, I think you should just like make it something that you just acknowledge what you're spending. The second thing is really think about what, like when you're at the till, ask yourself 3 questions, and at the till I mean online or standing there. Do I really want this? What could I spend this money on instead? Do I have something like this already? And then I think the third thing is to go and have a conversation with someone, which the more awkward that conversation, the better, because I think we often avoid money conversations, but you realise once you actually have one, it's like liberation stands on the other side of awkwardness. It's kind of, you might find out, you'll find out how your friend bought a flat or why they haven't bought a flat. And that information isn't just interesting because it's nosy. It means that it allows you to you'll know more about your friend and their life. And also you might be able to share a little worry of yours.